Hey there, hope all is well. Want to take a quick minute and share what looks like some developing news that's happening around the world, and I haven't seen much of it in my news feed via social media, really, apart from all the sources I follow outside the country. But as of this morning, I think it was 7 a.m. down in South America, in the regions of Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay, and some portions of Chile, roughly 50 million people are without power or limited power. And then also another event that not too many people know about is over in the country of Sudan, due to rioting and just that internal conflicts of the government there being in disarray. Looks like the current leadership was just ousted from the presidency over there. So it looks like the internet has been shut down for well over a week, according to an article I just read. And so it looks like between power outages as well as internet censorship, and we all know what's happening here with YouTube in reference to certain messages that are meant to be more truth revealing are being shut down or not getting the same type of promotion as other subject matter that is of no importance to the world, really, but for more so entertainment purposes. But censorship through internet control as well as power outages looks like it might be somewhat of a trend that's not by accident. And so without even knowing all the details about what's happening down in South America, but when you have 50 million people roughly that are impacted by not having power, I would imagine that it's part of a bigger scheme or bigger plan that probably has a lot to do with the current power shift that's underway. And so one thing I do know, having followed Argentina, a country for the last couple of years, Argentina in particular, has been buddying up pretty heavily with China over the last several months and years with certain types of deals or whatnot and agreements. And President Xi, of course, has visited Argentina for sure once. And so I would imagine that a part of this whole power outage is more so a way of trying to get a point across by, I'm not sure what words to use. I don't like to use certain words, but I'll say by certain powers that be, to get a point across in reference to the shift is underway and how certain countries are not encouraged to participate in doing things that thwarts the power of the Western Hemisphere, i.e. U.S., United States of America. And so between those four nations that are without power, I would imagine that it's all leading up to, again, I think in about a week and a half, we'll have the G20 meeting where 20 nations, the leading nations for the most part, will be meeting. So far, President Trump has made some very strong statements in requesting that President Xi meets with him for sure. And if he doesn't, then there will be 300 billion, give or take, of additional tariffs that will be implemented immediately. So between President Trump as well as the new tariff situation with India, looks like there's some retaliatory tariffs being passed by India on, I think, 29 goods that come from the U.S., I believe, or that heads to the U.S. or something of that nature. So it looks like this whole political and economic environment we're in kind of looks like it's a war already. And so definitely we can say it's a trade war between China and the U.S., but it looks like India is getting involved, as well as, I'm assuming that there's a couple other nations that we're not really being told about or hasn't become primary mainstream news yet. But between the power outage in the South, the internet situation in Sudan, I would imagine that this is all setting up for a very interesting summer. Given the fact that the G20 meeting, there's a lot of panic and scramble amongst nations to talk about a variety of subjects. Of two, I think will be the most important to majority of the people on this channel here, is the banking situation. And so far, we've had IMF, Christine Lagarde has come out several times mentioning that global recession. We're hearing the words recession more and more from nations all over the planet. And so everyone's coming to the realization that things are slowing down. Now, this upcoming G20 meeting, the primary or topic of conversation rather will probably be how to handle what such central banks begin doing to kind of ease or to thwart or to prepare for the coming economic slowdown officially, because a part of the G20 nations is 19 governmental bodies as well as 19 central bank board members, or the board members of 19 of the G20 banks. They all meet and they all plot and plan on what's coming. But I believe and kind of get the sense that this upcoming G20 meeting will be the last meeting under what is considered normal circumstances, where there's, for the most part, calm or a acting like there's calm in the markets. But in actuality, we all know something's going on. So this power outage, the sanctions, the tariffs, war is underway in a grander sense because there's things happening that they're needing to address right now. And I believe this power outage is to send a signal and a message to those southern countries, as well as the whole internet being turned off completely in Sudan, shows us that they are still in control of our primary mediums of communication when it comes to the internet, and our need and usage for power when it comes to the power grid. So something to keep an eye on. I thought I would share that real quick just because I haven't heard much about it. And I imagine this Sunday's a Father's Day. So for all my fathers out there, happy Father's Day. But it's one of them things where when stories are unfolding, I can't help but share it just because these are all related to the subject matter of our current monetary system and where it's heading and the shifts that's underway. And I think this next G20, we're going to find out immediately what they were talking about because we're going to see it in forms of how the internet, the power situation, the banking sector, all those things we're going to hear about. And also they're going to be talking about the cryptocurrency sector as well. So definitely there's some things coming pretty soon that I believe everyone will want to know about. So keep an eye on that. And of course, if you hear anything or see any articles, feel free to shoot me an email, admin@rethinkingdollar.com. We'll love to look into it further and bring it to the community so people can see what's going on out here. But other than that, power out, internet outage, G20 coming up. So it's a lot of things happening, my friends. Definitely enjoy your day as best you can. And if you found us informative, give it a thumbs up. More importantly, share this so people can find out what's happening around them that they may not have no clue about. So other than that, be blessed. Peace.